The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
Hey, what up YouTube fam, it's Dupree, aka Darth Hater here with some fresh, brand new Star Wars news for you. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and also check out my last video because it greatly helps out the channel. So let's get into it. In an exclusive interview, Ahsoka Cinematogrpher Eric Stillberg reminisced on his experience working with Star Wars executive creative director Dave Filoni on a series. Asked if Filoni had any specific input for what he wanted to see in Ahsoka, Stillberg noted that Filoni viewed the series as its own thing, rather than a continuation of Star Wars Rebels or other shows. The only shot that truly got copied was at the end of episode 2 with Sabine and the mural, with the team focusing more on the themes and tone instead. He went on to say, honestly, as far as the things that he told me and the conversations I had with him, no, we were treating this as if it's its own thing, a new thing. And though this show has its roots in animated series, it's very much its own thing. And in terms of live action goes, we're starting over. Let's look in visual storytelling. Practical live action shooting doesn't have many things related to the style of the way you want to do animation. So beyond the exact shots we copied at the end of episode 2 with Sabine in the mural, there was nothing specifically referenced in that way. It was more discussions about themes and tone that we had. He also confirmed everything shot for the series was in the final cut, specifically highlighting Grand Admiral Thrawn's debut along with Hayden Christensen's return as Anakin Skywalker as some of the show's coolest moments. He also said, no, everything we shot in the final cut, and everything, honestly, every episode that I worked on has such great stuff in it. The ones that were given to me, I was more than happy with the content and the opportunities that I got to do. Thrawn's arrival and Hayden Christensen's introduction were some pretty cool things to be able to figure out. So that was pretty exciting and had my hands full of those things. But it was pretty great, and I'm glad there were in other episodes that I didn't do. There were also fantastic things happening, obviously like episode 5 and the finale also come to mind. Just really special. Stillberg noted that he didn't have any input in the footage featuring Ariana Greenblatt's younger version of Ahsoka since he was busy with his work on episodes 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7. Went on to say, I didn't have any input on that, to be quite honest. They were shooting that while I was shooting episode 4 and then shooting episode 5. There was a little bit of overlap, so I had my hands quite full with other things. But I got to, I was on set for some of that stuff, but yeah, I really wasn't involved in much as it would have been fun to be. The biggest challenge was establishing the look of the world between worlds for episode 4, reveal of Anakin, asking the question, how do we shoot it? As effectively as possible with it being such a big moment in Ahsoka. Went on to say, what they did, we worked a little bit backwards. What they were establishing in episode 4 with this sort of look of the world between worlds is what we ended up adopting for the reveal at the end of episode 4. So what Peter Ramsey and I ended up doing was having just to figure out, how are we going to do the reveal? How are we going to shoot it? Dave and Corin Tran, our other DP, are figuring out what it looks like. But Peter and I had to figure out, how do we shoot it? What's the best, most fun way to introduce him? So that was really exciting to do because we know that would be a big moment, particularly at the end of the episode. As for the most challenging part of shooting Ahsoka, Stillberg couldn't pick out one specific shot, although he did reveal that the most he'd ever been asked to do in the shortest amount of time for any of his projects. Went on to say, the whole production was pretty challenging. I'd say very challenging in all aspects. Creative, technical, it was the most I'd ever been asked to do in the shortest amount of time. I've ever been asked to do it at the level of competency. I said before, it was like being thrown on the Olympic team and possibly not being ready and possibly not being really ready for that. But yeah, in terms of the hardest, I don't know what was the most difficult was. He specifically touched on the challenges of shooting in the volume or the virtual LED set, comparing it to his experience using it on The Mandalorian and looking to improve on what was done before in the series. He said, I would say shooting in the volume or virtual LED was really challenging because that was so new to me and it's an evolving thing. So everybody's doing it a little bit different, but they use it. And so there's the way that they've been using it on The Mandalorian, and those shows that were adopted, inherited, and tried to improve upon, as they do with every subsequent show that uses it down at that studio. This became a particular challenge due to the task of having to match something that's very virtual with things that are very practical, paying tribute to the entire Ahsoka crew from both sets and behind the scenes. He said, so I'd say it's not a specific scene that I'd say that had technique, and all those things we did there require a lot more time and a lot more planning, a lot more creative and technical bandwidth to make happen and really blend, because you're also matching something that's very virtual with things that are very practical and built that exist in real life. So blending those two and making sure that they look the same or look like they're part of the same show and world, it was really challenging. And it's just a testament to the crew I have set and the virtual side that was helping with it. Although Steinberg came in as a huge Star Wars fan, there wasn't anything specifically he had in mind to shoot, only learning about the story after being hired and realizing how many incredible moments he would get to shoot. He said, there weren't, because when I just really wanted to read the scripts. I couldn't wait. I wasn't given anything before. I was just kind of pitched in a very vague way that was the show was. And it wasn't until I was hired I was starting to learn about what the story was and read some scripts, and all of them were available to me when I started, but what I read, I was just flabbergasted. This might sound silly. Every scene I read was like, oh my god, I can't wait to do that. And then it would be the next scene, I was like, how does this keep, like, every scene there was something really cool and very different than anything I'd done before. I'd be like, okay, I've never done that. Oh, I can't wait to do that. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be exciting. A speeder bike going down the highway. How are we gonna do that? I have no idea. But hopefully we can make that look really cool. Before shooting began, the cinematographer just had lots of questions for Dave Filoni about what he had planned, wondering how the VFX crew would bring aspects like lightsabers, logcats, and the droids to life. He said, I just had tons of questions for Dave Filoni about his ideas and visions, and it was made for very, very constructive and fun conversations. But yeah, I know it's fun to have story and maybe oh, it was this shot, it was this thing, but it was everything. And it was more like, that's so cool. How the heck are we gonna do that? How is she gonna jump out of this control room with lightsabers through broken glass? How are we going to do her getting attacked by a droid on the catwalk outside at night in a tall building? Really, a cat? How are we going to do this? Is there going to be CG? Oh, a droid. He's in so much stuff. Oh, he's going to be a puppet. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, there's always someone puppeteering him in all the shots. Okay, it's all that exciting. And while the challenge was a big one, the cinematographer was also excited to embark on things that were written that seemed very, very complicated, and know that everything was going to get done one way or the other. And we had to do it all the time. But things that were written seemed very, very complicated, and that's in all the episodes. And it was going to get done. One way or the other, it was just going to get done. I jumped all into it. Will Ahsoka get a season 2? Looking at the final moments of Ahsoka season 1, the big question remaining is whether the series will move forward and into a second season of adventures. Fans are already wondering whether Ahsoka Tano will find her way back into the original Star Wars galaxy, although viewership for season 1 finale may jeopardize this question from being answered. This is interesting to see a different take from somebody who actually worked on the show, aside from a show creator or an actor or anything. Coming from a general fan and everything, it's always nice to see the production process, through the eyes of somebody such as this cinematographer. I had no clue that he worked on all these shows. Certainly not Kenobi, because that was a different cinematographer, and you can greatly tell the different styles, seeing as Kenobi had shaky cam and this one was kind of nice and steady and kind of flowed with the original vibe of Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. Was nice to see what somebody behind the scenes had to say about this show. And looking at all these words from this crew member, it's interesting to see his thoughts and wonder if Ahsoka season 2 is going to go forward, and if so, what challenges are going to be presented with that one, because you know with these shows it's only going to be bigger and better. There are words of possibly getting a season 2, and that it might be shooting at Pinewood instead of down here in LA like they normally do. We'll save that for another video. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys think about the cinematographer's experiences behind the scenes, working with Dave Filoni and shooting Ahsoka and other shows. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And as always, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell to get notifications for all my latest videos. That would be great. Anyway, guys, take care. See you in the next one. May the force be with you. Bye.